Welcome to Pages of the Multiverse, where every universe has a story. Here, we dive into the hidden corners of Marvel and DC Comics, exploring alternate realities, forgotten timelines, and the countless versions of your favorite heroes and villains. In this video, we will dive into the origins of everyone's favorite wall crawler, the Amazing Spider-Man of Earth-616. In Amazing Fantasy number 15, we witness the debut of a character who would forever change the world of comic books, the first appearance of Spider-Man. Peter Parker's story is one of the most iconic in comic history. But today, let's go back to the very beginning, to the original version of his origin, straight from the pages of that classic issue. Peter was a typical high school student, but he stood out, not for popularity or athleticism, but for his brilliance. A gifted science student, Peter was often dismissed as an outsider by his peers. He lived with his elderly Aunt May and Uncle Ben, who had raised him since he was a young boy. While Peter had a bright future ahead in science, he struggled socially. Girls ignored him, and he was constantly overshadowed by the school's star athlete, Flash Thompson. When Peter invited some classmates to a science exhibit, they turned him down to spend time with others instead, once again pushing him to the sidelines. Hurt and frustrated, Peter made a quiet promise to himself: one day, they would all regret treating him this way. At the exhibit, Peter was fascinated by a demonstration involving radioactive rays. But in a twist of fate, a small spider descended from the ceiling, unknowingly passing through the radiation beam. Irradiated and dying, the spider bit the first person it came across, that being Peter Parker. Startled, Peter noticed the spider glowing on his hand. Feeling strange, he left the exhibit, only to be mocked by the scientists. But outside, something felt different. His body seemed charged with energy. And when a speeding car nearly hit him, Peter leapt out of the way, and found himself clinging to a wall. Stunned by this new ability, Peter climbed higher, scaling the wall with ease. At the top, he grabbed a metal pipe, and crushed it by accident. That's when it hit him: the spider bite had given him incredible powers, the proportionate abilities of a spider. He could now climb walls, leap long distances, and had developed astonishing strength and reflexes. On his way home, Peter saw an ad for a wrestling match offering a $100 prize to anyone who could last in the ring with pro wrestler Crusher Hogan. Seeing an opportunity, Peter put on a disguise, just an old sweater and a mask, and easily defeated Hogan using his new abilities. In the crowd was a TV producer, impressed by Peter's performance. He offered him a deal to showcase his talents on live television. Peter agreed. He designed a new costume, built mechanical web shooters, and gave himself a name: Spider-Man. Spider-Man quickly became a sensation. Audiences were amazed by his acrobatics and web tricks, but no one knew who he really was. After one of his shows, Spider-Man had the chance to stop a fleeing thief but chose not to. "That's not my problem," he said when a guard asked why he didn't intervene. Weeks later, everything changed. Peter returned home one night to find police outside his house. His Uncle Ben had been shot by a burglar. The officer told him the suspect was cornered in a nearby warehouse. Driven by grief and rage, Peter put on his costume and rushed to the scene. Inside the warehouse, he easily disarmed the criminal and knocked him unconscious with a strong punch, but when he looked at the man's face, he was horrified. It was the same thief he had let escape. That moment changed Peter Parker's life forever. From then on, he carried the weight of that decision. He blamed himself for Uncle Ben's death, and embraced the lesson that would define his life: with great power, there must also come great responsibility. From those pages, a legend was born. The Amazing Spider-Man, a hero not just for those he loves, but for anyone in need. Thanks for watching. If you love multiverse stories, subscribe for new videos every week. Right here on Pages of the Multiverse.